Y'all know nothing about this. You need to pay attention. Sit back and relax. It's time for Goodall's Country Kitchen.
All right, I'm in historic downtown Cynthiana, Kentucky, and today I'm at Bianchi's Restaurant. Been here since 1894 and came highly recommended by one of my wife Melissa's best friends named Kim Gossett. She's from Cynthiana. Her and Melissa went to college together at Spalding University, and she's told me years ago I need to come here, along with a host of other people that told me this is a must-do destination for my channel. Before I get going though, I need everybody to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. I know y'all getting tired of hearing it, but you need to go ahead and do it if you haven't done that yet. For the first 3 years, I didn't even ask anybody to subscribe, but here I am, 11 million views, and I only have 40,000 subscribers. It should be quadruple that. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Okay, I'm going to be in studio, WHAS, Great Day Live, on Tuesday, November 25th, 2 days before Thanksgiving. I don't know if any of y'all saw the last review I did at Mazza Upper Crust Pizza and Pasta, but it was part of the Pizza Passport fundraiser for the Crusade for Children. I was joined by a VIP guest, Charlotte, and her family, and man, did we have a good time. For y'all that saw that episode, I know it melted your heart just like mine when you saw Charlotte having so much fun on that episode. So you definitely, if you haven't seen it, you need to go back there. And for the ones that did see it, you're going to be glad to know that Charlotte and her mother, Catherine, are going to be joining me on my segment on Great Day Live that day on Tuesday, November 25th. So don't miss that, 9 a.m. Before I forget, this episode is being sponsored by an old friend of mine who now lives in Crestview, Florida. Her name is Jackie Madden. Jackie and I, we go back 35 years. She was engaged to one of my best friends, Jeffrey George, passed away in a farm accident back in the June 23rd of 1993. She moved down to Florida and she contacted me wanting to order a t-shirt and sponsor a video. So Jackie, I thank you so much. I miss you. And we're going to get down to Florida and visit you sometime soon. All right, y'all seen the last couple videos. The merch is now in. I got the long sleeve t-shirts, the sweatshirts, and of course, the old school t-shirts. So go ahead and send me an email, barrygoodall1966@gmail.com, and I'll tell you how you can order some of that merch. And speaking of merch, again, the Kentucky Flea Market, I'm going to be out there January 1st through 4th at the Kentucky Expo Center and Fairgrounds. So come on out there and visit me, hang out at my booth. It's going to be a meet and greet, merch. Going to be out there 4 straight days. So make some time to come out and see me. All right, Bianchi's. Been here for I don't know how many generations of owners, but actually known for Italian food. The original Bianchi's were Italian, and they have Italian dishes in here, along with a lot of the good old down-home country cooking. Okay, I've looked at the menu. There's so many good things that's going to be frustrating. I don't know what to get. And by the way, I came prepared. I got my Tea Pocket shirt, y'all see here, which enabled me to carry this bottle of Grace and Big Papa's spicy seasoning I showed y'all in that last episode. So look up at Tea Pocket. Order you a shirt. All right, enough gum flapping. Let's go on in, get some of this food. All right, I'm going to give you the grand tour, and there is a whole lot to see in here, but I'm going to try not to show anybody as best I can. Come in. It looks like they got an upstairs dining room. Probably do parties and stuff up there, but can't say for sure. And first thing you see, you come in here, they got the cashier, got the wine rack, and this is what I've been hearing about right here, is these homemade pies. And they say the signature pie is their butterscotch, which I'm not a big butterscotch fan, but when in Rome, do as the Romans do, so I'm eating some of that with a tall glass of cold milk. Quit fronting. Oh yeah, look, there's what it looked like back in the old days. Nothing's changed a bit. That's 1930s. I can tell by the cars right there. Got the hometown feel. Got the old graduating classes of Cynthiana High School.
There we go, Mr. Rusty.
Wow.
I know.
Man, they're big on their local high school history. I can tell that for sure right off the bat. Look at all these class pictures. Oh, this one says since 1891, not 94, 91. Okay. I don't want to show anybody, but I'm going to show you got a dining room over here. You keep going back. I think this one might be for private parties. I don't know. Yeah, they got a big room back there. You see they got a curtain up. So they have big conference room back there for big groups. And going back here to my little cozy corner. And I'm going to start ordering up some food. All right, I've told y'all 1,000 times, I really do like salad, believe it or not. And I was looking at the menu, and I couldn't pass this up. It's got chicken salad, turkey, and it's got cottage cheese, tomatoes, Swiss cheese, cucumbers. So, and of course, you know, I brought my own dressing too, along with that ranch, Saved by Grace. That's as good a salad dressing as you're ever going to get. And I brought along my Big Papa's all-purpose seasoning spicy, which goes great on salads. Wow. I haven't seen a salad like this in many years. It's kind of cool because you take all your own toppings and you cut them up yourself. You get a piece of Swiss on there. I'm not even going to mix it all up in the beginning. Kind of go in stages here. Make it last. Some of that cottage cheese in there. All right. You know I ain't got time for pepper shakers. Quit fronting. Let me taste this chicken salad naked with nothing on it first. Just so I can tell you how good that is. Mmm. That's homemade. That didn't come out of no carton, I can tell you that. Mm-hmm. Now let me go ahead and accentuate with some of this Big Papa's extra spicy. My first bite, I'm going to get everything. The turkey, the chicken salad, cottage cheese. Mmm. Accentuate with some Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. Saved a wretch like me. Got some of these good club crackers. Do a little ranch dip with the crackers. What a perfect combination. The turkey, the chicken salad, the Swiss cheese, all the crispy vegetables mixed in together. A lot of people on the comments are like, what are you doing always like telling people to lift their chin up and you're slapping people and all this stuff? Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, when something is this good, it makes me want to slap somebody. So go ahead and lift that chin up. And by the way, y'all locals in Louisville, I just found out yesterday, you can go to Pop's Pepper Patch website or their local store. You can walk in and you can get the Big Papa's all-purpose seasoning. You can order it off the Pop's Pepper Patch website, or you go in and get it yourself. All right. I ain't even fronting. This is one of the best salads that I've ever had. I'm not kidding you. It's kind of a different style than what you get. It's got a bed of lettuce underneath, but it's mostly fixins instead of mostly being lettuce. So that is very good. Hurricanes are brewing in the Caribbean as we speak. That's why you need to call Morley Roofing after the next windstorm. Been in business since 1981, family owned and operated, and they stand by their work. That's why you get a 5-year guarantee from the completion of your job. And if you mention this ad, you get a 22% discount off any out-of-pocket expense. So the next windstorm that hits Louisville, I don't want to hear that old Randy Travis song, I told you so. Oh, I told you so.
If your roof looks poorly, call Morley.
Now this is about as country as it can get. I said when you're in Rome, do as the Romans do. They're known for good catfish, hush puppies. Look here, got the brown beans. And look at the mac and cheese, how it's baked over the top with the cheese. And when you're getting brown beans, wouldn't be complete without the cornbread and onion. Quit fronting. Oh, y'all got the big rye.
Uh-huh.
Okay, appreciate it.
No problem, sweetheart. You need anything else at the moment?
Not now, right? I appreciate it. Looky here. Look at that. They ain't even playing. You talk about a sandwich. Now, like I said, I heard this catfish is really good. I read that, and then also the server told me that too. Now, you already know it's going on there. I don't want to hear people in the comment section, why do you put the hot sauce on before you taste it? Because I'm accentuating it to another level. So go ahead and order you some Grace. And if you don't, honey, hush. Let's get these beans situated too. Ooh, look at the steam rolling off there. 3rd-degree burns coming. Cut the onion. The pepper. We're going to put a little pepper on that mac and cheese. And of course, accentuate with Grace. Wash it down with some of this yellow cornbread. This catfish is calling my name. I'm going to let the beans and all that cool down. Quit fronting. That breading course, it's Green River style. Cornmeal. All right. I don't care if this table's got Ebola virus on it. I ain't wasting nothing. That is so good. But I can tell this is like local, like farm raised catfish. And the intro is a little long-winded. I didn't want to take up more time, but stick around for the end of the video because ironically, I have more John Hunt Morgan history. Two very significant events took place here in the town of Cynthiana during the Civil War. And coincidentally, this was a big part of what was known as John Hunt Morgan's first raid into Kentucky. And then later in the war, it was his last raid into Kentucky. Very interesting tales to the plot in these stories. So stick around for the end. I told y'all this is mac and cheese. I forgot. It's hash brown casserole, which anytime I see hash brown casserole, I got to get it just out of memory of my wife's grandmother, Mary Carabo Kinney. She made the best hash brown casserole I ever put in my mouth. She served it every Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's just like they copied my grandmother-in-law's recipe. Wow. It's just so cheesy. It's got that layer of cheese over the top. And then it's got cheese all through it. Look at that. Quit fronting. I'm digging down in there. Raise that chin up. I've been over here neglecting these hush puppies. Everywhere I go, I see the hush puppies. I gotta get the hush puppies. A lot of people don't give hush puppies enough respect, but there's something about a good hush puppy. These are excellent. Got a nice combination of spice in them, but it's got that nice crunch on the outside, but moist on the inside. A lot of times you'll get hush puppies that be dried out, not these. Cooked perfect. Look here. All right, they've cooled down enough. I think I can get in here without getting scalded. They still got the steam rolling off. Look at there. It's got that bacon in there. You know I love that swine. Look at that. I see 2 pieces of bacon already right off the top. All right. Like my old buddy Sam would say, get at them beans, boy. I'm having all kinds of flavor intoxication moments. Everything I'm eating, it's a flavor intoxication. I am way beyond the legal limit of flavor intoxication. If flavor intoxication could be a criminal charge, I'd be on a felony right now. This might have a piece of bacon in just about every bite. I'm seeing even more bacon down in there. Look at that. See that? Now I've got room for more onion. Gonna be going home with some onion breath. You know, Melissa really likes that onion breath. Onion breath is a big turn on for her. Look how white and flaky that is. Y'all don't know nothing about this typewriter technique. Now right, here we go. We're going way back here. Look here, 1904 football team. Man, you talk about Wall of Fame. All right, here's what I've been looking for. This is Joe and Tina Bianchi. Started this place in 1894. Wow, man, this is definitely a journey back through time. All right, so one of the signature items here is their burger called the Big Joe, which I've looked at these old menus. The Big Joe goes back as far as anybody can remember around here into the original menus. I know this bun doesn't look grilled, but it actually is lightly toasted. You can see there on the edges. Oh, look, there is pickle on there. And it's got the Joe's sauce on the bottom, which is tartar sauce. If you look on the old menus, it just said it comes with tartar sauce. Well, that's what they call now the Joe's sauce. And I got the double. And I ordered shredded lettuce, onion, and pickle with it. Oh, yeah. Kind of reminds me of Frisch's Big Boy, except for you see those patties there are a lot bigger than Frisch's. You already know I'm going to be doing a ketchup dip. The Big Joe, named after Joe Bianchi. Burmese python. See, it's got the crispy edges. Oh, that's so delicious. A lot of people don't even really know about tartar sauce on burgers, you know? Now we're doing a ketchup dip. You notice I got aggressive with it that time. Because when you're dealing with big sloppy burgers, you got to take control. You control the burger, you don't let the burger control you. When I leave here, it's about an hour and 25-minute drive from Louisville to here. I hope I don't get pulled over because I'm going to jail for flavor intoxication. All right, y'all know how I do it. It's kind of like a fat trick. Instead of crackers, you use cornbread. When you're getting down to that second half of the bowl, and it's so good, you don't want it to end, you just crumble that cornbread in there, make it stretch. Old fat trick I learned back when I was a kid. Before I forget, when you come here, ask for Tabby to be your server. I'm sure all the other ones are great, but she has been very efficient and very helpful to me. So she's a sweetheart. So I asked for her. All right. Butterscotch pie. All their desserts are homemade. You saw that case out there. But this is the creme de la creme. Known for that butterscotch pie, which I told you, not a butterscotch fan, but if that's their signature dish, I gotta try it. Whoa. That homemade meringue. Oh my. Now I know why people were coming in off the street just getting pies and pieces of pies when I was out there earlier. Look at that. That homemade meringue. Whoops. Wash it down with some cold milk. Man. All right, don't go away. I'm going to see if I can get the manager to say a few words. And like I said, stick around for the short story on John Hunt Morgan. Very interesting local history. You know, whenever I go to a town and it's got significant Civil War history, I gotta dive into it. Okay, as I said, I've got the manager, Savannah, here. She's kind enough to give us a few words. First of all, how long have you been working here, Savannah?
I have been here for 11 years, since I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I started managing the last about 6 years, but before that I served.
We're here in historic downtown Cynthiana, so this just goes hand in hand. When you come here, so much to do, the shops, the restaurants, you definitely got to come in, finish your afternoon off. And also, it's worth the drive from Louisville just for these pies. It's unbelievable. And these cookies, those cookies are as big as my head. So even though I talked about some of the stuff on the menu, if you had to say what your signature dishes are here, what would you put out to the forefront?
So I believe our fried green tomatoes are one of the things that many people from around come just to try. And they say even no matter how many different owners they had ate with before here, that those stay the same. They have not changed, and they stay the same flavor and taste and everything. So I love our fried green tomatoes. Catfish is our #1 seller, as you tried today. And then I like our hot brown. It's just classic Kentucky hot brown. I mean, I think a lot of other restaurants, do hot browns as well, but I think it's a Kentucky staple that you want to try a hot brown whenever you go to.
I wanted to get the hot brown, but I have shown so many hot browns in Louisville.
Oh yeah.
Seelbach, the Brown Hotel. I mean, all the earliest versions of hot browns you can get. But I saw pictures. Y'all's looks really good. Yeah. Okay, Savannah. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. But if you could tell them one thing, what sets you all apart that would make somebody want to drive all the way from Louisville to come here?
I would think just the history feeling when you walk in the doors, the class groups and pictures that we have on all the walls, and just when you walk in, you feel the history, not just only on the walls, but even in, the restaurant.
All right, speaking of history, stick around, my little John Hunt Morgan history tour, and y'all don't know nothing about this Bianca's Restaurant. Okay, I'm over here in front of the Harrison County Courthouse, which was built here in 1853 and was a focal point in the Second Battle of Cynthiana with John Hunt Morgan. I'll cover that in just a second. But we're going to start with the First Battle of Cynthiana. But I got to give you some background first. John Hunt Morgan was down in Tennessee in the Knoxville area and was under the command of Confederate General Braxton Bragg. At that time, Bragg was devising a plan to take over and capture Chattanooga, Tennessee, but he needed John Hunt Morgan as a diversion. So he assigned Morgan to take 1,000 men and take a raid through Kentucky and cause as much damage to bridges and railroads as he could possibly do, and to divert Union troops away from his own army down in Tennessee. So that's what Morgan did in the summer of 1862. He came up through Kentucky, out of Tennessee, and eventually came to Cynthiana. Now, being that Morgan was from Lexington, this is just really a few miles away from Lexington, very familiar with the area. So he knew his way around all the roads, and it just happened to be on the Kentucky Central Railroad, which was a big target for Morgan because they had a huge depot here and full of federal supplies. So Morgan had his sights set on it. July 17th, 1862, Morgan got here and was facing a Union garrison and some home guard militia. Altogether, about 400 men, not even half the size as Morgan's force. You would have thought they would have seen John Hunt Morgan coming into town and they would have taken off, but no, they set up a line of battle and they fought back. About a 2-hour battle ensued after that, and it took Morgan to break out his 2 mountain howitzers to finally start shelling the Union troops before they gave way and started retreating through town. Morgan had split his force into 3 different columns, and eventually they were able to head off, flank, and surround the Union troops, which brought an end to the battle. And Morgan ended up paroling all the Union troops, burned down the train depot, took what supplies he could. They said that there was a merchant here that had hundreds of pairs of butternut jeans, which his men confiscated, and of course, much needed boots and shoes. Now, we're going to move along down the street, and I'm going to show you another landmark that was significant in the Second Battle of Cynthiana. So I'm here in front of the Rankin House here in downtown Cynthiana, which is where John Hunt Morgan ended up taking as his headquarters during the Second Battle. Now, fast forward, summer of 1864, John Hunt Morgan had reassembled another cavalry command. This time, though, the recruiting was not as quality as it was the first time before his command was captured. He was kind of taking the leftovers. He had a lot of outlaws mixed in with his cavalry command on the second time around. So, that summer, June 1864, Morgan decided that he was going to take a raid into Kentucky again and divert Union troops away from the Confederate armies in Virginia, Tennessee. He came out of Virginia into Kentucky, and eventually on June 11th made his way here to Cynthiana. At that time, Cynthiana was being protected by parts of different Union regiments of cavalry, such as the 47th and 52nd Kentucky Mounted Infantry. You had a regiment of Ohio cavalry that was here and some home guards. John Hunt Morgan came into town and with an overwhelming force pretty quickly dispatched the Union defenses. It was a 3-pronged attack. That was his general strategy, was to split his command into 2 or 3 columns and then attack from the side and the rear. Well, that's exactly what he did here, and cornered different units that were here at the time and captured them kind of piecemeal. He actually took the Ohio cavalry regiment and held them prisoner in the 2nd floor of the Harrison County Courthouse, of which I was standing in front of in the opening clip. So Morgan decided that he was going to go ahead and spend the night, kind of take his time, thinking that, it was familiar territory. But in the background, you see here the Rankin House. This is where John Hunt Morgan spent the night of June 11th. The following morning, Union cavalry under command of Edward Hobson and Stephen Gano Burbridge, 2,500 men strong, were lined up outside of town. Morgan still had 1,000 of the prisoners with him in the line of battle that he had captured the day before. So at dawn that morning of June 12th, Morgan attacked the Union cavalry. Due to overwhelming numbers and capable veteran cavalry, and Morgan had no artillery this time around, it wasn't long before it completely turned into a rout. John Hunt Morgan and his command retreated through the town. There was house-to-house fighting. All but a handful of Morgan's command were captured. Morgan and his staff managed to escape through town and made their way back to Virginia. It's kind of ironic. Cynthiana was the site of one of the biggest victories of Morgan's first raid into Kentucky, and Cynthiana became the death knell of his cavalry command in his last raid into Kentucky. Months later, that summer, Morgan was ambushed and killed by Union cavalry in Greenville, Tennessee, coming out of a rooming house in nothing but a nightshirt, was shot in the back and killed in the garden behind the house. And therefore, the end of John Hunt Morgan's story.